People stopped, questioned, and arrested simply because they are black. Police officers pointing their guns at people despite the fact they've done absolutely nothing wrong. And police supervisors sending racist emails not only about those they arrest, not even the President of the United States and his wife. That's how federal investigators are describing the police department in the U.S. city of Ferguson, Missouri, the site of last year's killing of an unarmed black teen. CCTV's Roy Ruttenberg reports.
That's correct. Darren Wilson will not face charges, and many people were expecting that decision. And today, Michael Brown's family, the young man that was killed, said they were disappointed but also encouraged that the Department of Justice will hold Ferguson police accountable for their racist practices and policies. And one of the things justice officials have done through this report is quantify that racism. Now remember, black individuals make up just 2/3 of Ferguson's population, 67%. But between 2012 and 14, the report says their cars were most frequently pulled over and searched. They also received nearly all of the tickets and fines from Ferguson police, and they disproportionately filled the city's jails, accounting for 93% of arrests. Residents of Ferguson say they knew all of this, they lived this for years, and that all of this was a subtext for the protests that followed Brown's death. In the last hour, the U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder, who commissioned the probe, spoke about its conclusions, and he also talked about a culture of money-making, of filling the city's coffers through indiscriminate and disproportionate fees. He said Ferguson doubled the amount of money it's collected now compared to just a few years ago. And amid all of this, Holder appeared to express his understanding for the frustration felt by the people of Ferguson.
Now, of course, violence is never justified. But seen in this context, amid a highly toxic environment, defined by mistrust and resentment, stoked by years of bad feelings, and spurred by illegal and misguided practices, it's not difficult to imagine how a single tragic incident set off the city of Ferguson like a powder keg.
Roy, you pointed out the city of Ferguson is 67% black, yet its police force is 94% white. Now that we know the findings of the Justice Department, what is next for this department?
Well, the report is 87 pages long, and it makes a series of recommendations, particularly on how to reform the city's police department and the municipal court, revising police tactics, the way tickets are issued, the way fines are determined and collected. Now, Ferguson could decide to implement the recommended changes, or it could decide not to comply with them and risk a lawsuit from the Department of Justice. That's something Holder has already alluded to. Either way, for the city of Ferguson, both options will be lengthy and costly. And I should point out, we understand that about 2 hours' time, the mayor of Ferguson is expected to speak. We may get some indication of what they'll do next.
Roy Ruttenberg reporting.